Hello, this is wmpyr. I've been asked by Kyoshi Eric from Tetsudo Kino Bujutsu, which I'm actually a proud member of, to make a video series on single stick. And I asked him why, and he said he just wanted to hear some perspectives, different perspectives and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just going to try to share some thoughts on it, and hopefully it'll help people out. So okay. The first thing is with single stick, right? Generally speaking, you're going to be holding the stick in your dominant hand, right? Stick, weapon, knife, whatever, right? In your dominant hand. And I guess the question is, right? Should you be practicing with your less dominant hand, your weaker hand, right? So in this case, my dominant hand is the right hand, and then my left hand is the weaker hand. So when we do something like the angles of attack, right? We park it like this, and you go one arm at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this parks. And then we switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is how we go, and then we go back to this one. So essentially, it's one arm at a time. So that's how you do that, right? When both arms go simultaneously together, then that's how you get arm weaving. But that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about single stick, right? So that's the question. And I feel like it would be wrong for me, and actually very disrespectful towards humanity, for me to say, just because I train right hand and left hand, to say that everybody should also do right hand and left hand. Just because that works for me, that's the correct way, everybody should do that. To me, that's very arrogant, and I don't think that's respectful. I don't think that's right, okay? I believe that there's many ways to climb to the top of the mountain. So, if you want to focus on just the dominant hand, the weapon in the dominant hand, I think that's fine. I really do. I don't see a problem in that. It's not the method that I do, but, to each their own. Okay, I think what is important is that you work at that, and you create benefits, and you understand the pros and cons of doing that, To me, that's what's important, how much you develop your craft. Okay, it's not about arguing which method is better. And take, for example, okay, when I was training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu back in the day, right, we learned the gi chokes, using chokes with the gi, the outfit, the kimono outfit, right? And we also did stuff with the gi, so we had chokes, we're using sleeves, we're using collars, and you're using grips and all that stuff, boom, like so. And it's just kind of like, that wasn't my primary interest. I was training in jiu-jitsu at the time, and I was using it when facing people from other styles. So I would face a boxer, or I would fight against a wrestler, or, I would fight against a guy who did, some Korean martial arts style, or whatever, So I was using jiu-jitsu for that, and I didn't wear a gi to fight. So it was kind of like, it wasn't my area of interest, like I said. But I'll tell you this, when I was in class, I still practiced it. So when the teacher taught, the gi choke, I went through the motions and I learned it. I wasn't excited about it, but I didn't give them attitude. And I wasn't like, can we not do gi chokes, and can we just do, arm bars, Americanas, Kimuras? Can we focus more on stuff like that? I didn't say that. Whatever the teacher wanted to show, unless asked, hey, is there something you want to work on? Unless asked like that, I kept my mouth shut, because I feel like that's disrespectful. So I learned the curriculum the way it's taught. And then years later, I can tell you that I like gi chokes now. I really do. I appreciate them tremendously. I do them with belts now too, so I'm glad that I went through the motion and learned it. So in the same way, I recommend to you guys the same thing. So if you go to a class or you learn from me, my method is I do both hands. I practice with the right, boom, 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 and then I'll switch and I'll practice also with the left. You know, maybe not immediately. It might take me some time to work with the right hand and get it down really, really well. And then I switch to the left hand, and by that time the right hand can teach the left hand. So, but that's the way that I teach. That's my method. You don't have to do the exact same thing, you know, but if you are going to learn from me, or you go to a school that teaches that way, I advise you go through the motions. When you go home, do what you want, you know, and that's what I did. In jiu-jitsu class, I learned it the way the professor said. When I came home, I did what I want, you know. I think that's just a proper respect and mentality. You still go through the motions, you learn it, and that way you understand more. So that's what I recommend. I feel like people today are a little bit too judgmental, and they go like, well, I don't want to do right hand and left hand because what are the chances of having two weapons? I don't need to fight with my left hand, or you know, I'm not going to hold the weapon in my left hand, so why should I practice that? You know, and they're just too judgmental that way. There's pros and cons. It's been said for a reason, and it's important for you to have an open mind and don't close it up immediately and dismiss it like so. You know, you need to give the art a chance and learn it, and you may disagree with it, but take the time to learn it. You know, I mean, really learn it before you make such judgments. And like I said, years later, I'm talking about like 5-10 years later, I like gi chokes. You know, my viewpoint has changed. So you never know. But anyway, that's it for now. That's part one. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.